Yisrael, Yahweh Eloheinu, Yahweh Echad, Baruch Shem Kavod, Melchuto, Leolam Vayed. Torah Puppets!
Sheep Working at Meals on Hoofs program for those shut-ins was hey awesome.
Oh, yes it was, Donkey. I am so glad you could join me. It is a tremendous blessing to do what is right for others.
Did you say do what is right?
Yes, Hare. It's just good to do what is right.
That is amazing, Sheep and Donkey, because Psalm 119 verse 121a says, I have done what is just and right. That verse is one of two that are the focus of this episode of Torah Puppets. Also, the Hebrew word for do or done, as in done what is right, is asa, which begins with one of our two featured letters from the alphabet, the ayin.
Yes, I believe that is what Sheep is saying.
Yes. Tangerine the cat and ayin, if you please.
Ayin.
Thank you, Tangerine.
Hey ha, ayin?
Ayin.
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 Ayin, asa, I have done what is just and right. The things we learn from this verse of Psalm 119 is that following Torah will help us live right before Yahweh. And why is it important to live right before Yahweh? Well, that brings us to the Zadi. Yes, Tangerine the cat, the Zadi, please.
Daddy.
Zadi.
Daddy.
Daddy.
Zadi, our other featured letter of the Hebrew alphabet for today's episode. The Zadi is also the letter that starts the Hebrew word Zadik, which means righteous, as we find in Psalm 119, 137, which reads, You are righteous, Yahweh, and your rulings are upright.
So because God is just and right,
Then his people are to be just and right.
Exactly, my friends. Hear that, boys and girls? Ayin and Zadi, just do right. This is your roving rabbit reporter with a really bad French accent. Here we go, saying, here we go. Righteous, righteous.
Howdy, y'all. I'm Clementine, and it is time once again for the part of the show that we call Ask Rabbi Trail. So without a further howdy hey, here's Rabbi Trail.
Shalom, children. Shalom, Miss Clementine. Oh, it is so good to see you back from teaching children to read. I am so very proud of you.
Proud of me?
Yes, Miss Clementine. I was telling your Grandpa Gus that by teaching children to read, you are giving them the chance to study, learn, and obey Torah. You have done a just and right thing.
Why, thank you, Rabbi Trail. I love helping children learn about Torah. Speaking of which, are you ready for today's Ask Rabbi Trail question?
Yes, I am. What is today's question?
The question is, Rabbi Trail, what does God want us to do?
What does God want us to do? As in, what does he require of us?
I guess so.
Well, the two greatest commandments from Torah give us the answer.
The two greatest commandments.
You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your strength, and you shall love your neighbor as yourself.
And behold, a certain lawyer stood up and tested him, saying, Teacher, what shall I do to inherit eternal life? Yeshua said to him, What is written in the law? What is your reading of it? So he answered and said, You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength, and with all your mind, and your neighbor as yourself. And he said to him, You have answered rightly. Do this and you will live. But he, wanting to justify himself, said to Yeshua, And who is my neighbor? Then Yeshua answered and said, A certain man went down from Jerusalem to Jericho, and fell among the thieves, who stripped him of his clothing, wounded him, and departed, leaving him half dead. Now, by chance, a certain priest came down that road, and when he saw him, he passed by on the other side. Likewise, a Levite, when he arrived at the place, came and looked and passed by on the other side. But a certain Samaritan, as he journeyed, came where he was, and when he saw him, he had compassion. So he went to him and bandaged his wounds, pouring oil and wine, and he set him on his own animal and brought him to an inn and took care of him. On the next day, when he departed, he took out 2 denarii, gave them to the innkeeper, and said to him, "Take care of him, and whatever more you spend, when I come again, I will repay you." So which of these 3 do you think was neighbor to him who fell among the thieves? And he said, "He who showed mercy on him." Then Yeshua said to him, "Go and do likewise."
That was weird.
I guess the answer is a question. I kind of hoped it could be narrowed down a little bit, though.
Narrowed down?
Yes, sort of a quick answer to what Yahweh requires of us.
Oi! Why didn't I think of this before? Of course, there is such an answer. It is found in the Tanakh, Micah 6:8.
Wait a minute, Rabbi, did y'all just say Micah 6:8?
I did indeed, Miss Clementine. Micah 6:8.
Micah 6:8 happens to be my favoriteest verse in the whole Bible.
It is? Well then, why don't you take this one, Miss Clementine?
Thank you, Rabbi Trail. Micah 6, verse 8. He has shown you, O man, what is good, and what does the Lord require of you, but to act justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God.
Excellent. Now, break it down for the children.
Act justly. To act justly means to see that wrongs were made right, to treat people with fairness and kindness, to do the right thing.
So the Samaritan went to the hurt man and bandaged his wounds, pouring on oil and wine. And he set him on his own animal, brought him to an inn, and took care of him. But a certain Samaritan, as he journeyed, came where the hurt man was. And when he saw him, he had compassion.
All right already.
May I continue?
Yes, go on.
Walk humbly with your God. My answer to that is frog.
Wait, what? What? Frog, I am confused.
Micah 6:8 is the name of my pet frog.
Okay, you have a pet frog and you named it Micah 6:8. What does this have to do with anything?
Well, Rabbi Trail, I named my frog Micah 6:8 because it is my favorite verse in the whole Bible.
All right, but what does that have to do with walking humbly with your Elohim?
Because of the letters in frog.
The letters in frog?
F, fully. R, rely. O, on. G, God. Fully rely on God. Frog.
Fully rely on God?
Yes, Rabbi. To walk humbly with your God means to live your life always trying to show mercy to others and do the right thing by them. But when we fall short of that, we should fully rely on God for His mercy and righteousness to cover us. We should fully rely on God.
Wow, I couldn't have said it better myself. Frog. Now I see why you named your pet Micah 6:8. He has shown you, O man, what is good, and what does Adonai require of you, but to act justly, to love mercy. Phew, I thought we were going to be interrupted again. And to walk humbly with your Elohim.
Then Yeshua said to him, "Go and do likewise."
Oy vey. I think that is all for Ask Rabbi Trail today. Thank you, Miss Clementine.
You're welcome, Rabbi Trail. I'm off to see my frog, Micah. Bye. Goodbye, y'all.
Robbie, you're back! I am so happy to see you.
I'm happy to see you as well, Grandpa Gus. Woo! What is that smell?
Well, I was warming up a soft pretzel stick in the microwave and,
Oh, no. Did you put it in too long?
Yeah. I wasn't really paying attention, and I set the microwave for 7 minutes.
7 minutes?
Yeah. And then I kind of forgot about it until my darling granddaughter Clementine asked why there was smoke coming out of the microwave. That was about 4 minutes into cooking it. There was a lot of smoke coming out of the microwave. Not good.
Oh, Gus, that stinks. Literally.
Very funny. But that's not important. How did the prison ministry go?
Wonderfully. Thank you for asking.
What was it like? Were there a bunch of shady characters running around yelling, "Help! Help! I'm being oppressed"?
Not exactly, Gus. What there was a great deal of inmates who understood what it meant to be under the law.
Ah, yes. Under the law. Bet they wouldn't appreciate hearing about Torah.
On the contrary, because they were in jail for failing to do what is right, they were happy to hear that Torah points them to a Messiah that brings them forgiveness and restores their relationship to God, and gives them the instructions they need to know how to properly treat others in order to restore their relationships to society. The Torah also helped them to understand why it was just and right for them to be in jail.
Just and right, huh?
Yep. See, that's one of the most important reasons for Torah, to teach us how to do right by one another.
And how to be right with God.
Yes, that is very important. And that is what I talked about to them first. And once they received the Messiah, they gained a better understanding of how you can be right with God, but still face the consequences of justice from their fellow man.
Just like I still had to pay that ticket for hitting the police car, and pay for the damages, and purchase lifetime passes to the policeman's ball, and walk the officer's K-9 partner for a whole month, and...
I got the point, Gus. Exactly. We should always do the right thing and see that justice was done. Wait. Lifetime passes to the policeman's ball and walk his dog? That seems a little over the top.
Yeah, but I did it all anyway. Whatever it takes, you gotta do the right thing, right?
Yes, do the right thing.
Even if it means being in the hooskow, the clink, the slammer, or picking up the you-know-what of a K-9 police dog.
You got it, Gus.
You know, though, Robbie, it made me happy to do the right thing for the officer, and that all worked out fine. But I tried to do the right thing at work and still got in trouble. What's Torah got to say about that, huh?
What happened?
I found a $5 bill while I was cleaning.
Cleaning?
Oh, yeah, I never told you. I'm a custodial engineer.
Custodial engineer?
A janitor, okay?
Ah.
And maintenance. I do maintenance as well.
Ah.
And lawn care, too.
Wow, they got you working hard.
You're telling me. So anyway, while I was scrubbing a toilet, I found a $5 bill.
In the toilet?
No, next to it. Still kind of gross, though.
Were you tempted to keep it?
Oh, you bet. Do you know what I could have bought with that $5 bill?
I can imagine.
A whole lot of gumballs.
Gumballs. Maybe I couldn't imagine. Really? Gumballs?
Of course. But I didn't keep the money because that would have been stealing. Instead, I gave it to my boss so he could figure out who it belonged to. Turned out it belonged to him. And he was glad. He really needed the $5. Turns out he really likes gumballs too.
Gumballs.
Yep. Good thing I did the right thing. Or so I thought.
Uh-oh. What happened?
Well, there's this jealous co-worker I have who went to my boss and said that he had seen me steal it from him in the first place, then pretend to find it to get brownie points with him.
Oh, no, Gus. Then what happened?
Oh, my boss yelled at me up one side, then down the other. Oh, it was humiliating.
That's terrible, Gus. You didn't get fired, did you?
Nah. When my boss was mid-rant, he suddenly remembered that he was cleaning around that same toilet earlier. They get used a lot. And that he had realized that at the time he was missing his money. That, and thinking upon the kind of person I've been since following Torah, made him realize that I'd been telling the truth.
Good.
I guess so. But it was still pretty unfair in the first place.
Yes, unfortunately it does happen. Sometimes doing the right thing can get us into trouble. It happened to Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. It happened to Daniel.
Yeah! Don't mention Daniel.
Why not?
Never mind. Had the weirdest and scariest encounter with Daniel, that's all. Ooh, the lions.
Okay. Don't know what that's about. And you did mention Torah, so are you familiar with Joseph?
Isn't he the one with the amazing Technicolor dream coat?
I'm talking about the biblical Joseph and not the Broadway Joseph.
Oh, yeah. So what happened with Joseph?
Well, let me tell you what Torah says about what happened with Joseph and Potiphar's wife.
Ooh, this sounds like it's going to be good.
Joseph was brought... that's Joseph's Hebrew name, Joseph.
Okay.
Joseph was brought down to Egypt, and Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh's and captain of the guard, he's an Egyptian, bought him from the Ishmaelim who had brought him there. Yahweh was with Joseph, and he became wealthy while he was in Potiphar's household. His master Potiphar saw how Yahweh was with him, and that Yahweh prospered everything he did. Joseph pleased him as he served him, and his master appointed him manager of his household. He entrusted everything he had to Joseph. From the time he appointed him manager of his household and all his possessions, Yahweh blessed Potiphar's household for Joseph's sake. Yahweh's blessing was on everything he owned, whether in the house or in the field. So he left all his possessions in Joseph's care. Makes sense. Because he had him, he didn't really pay any attention to his affairs, except for the food he ate.
Oh, that's... Yeah.
Now, Joseph, he was a good-looking guy, well-built and handsome. So in time, the day came when Potiphar's wife took a look at Joseph and said, sleep with me. Yeah, but he refused, saying to his master's wife, look, because my master has me, he doesn't know what's going on in this house. He has put all his possessions in my charge. In this house, I am his equal. He hasn't withheld anything from me except yourself, because you are his wife. How then can I do such a wicked thing and sin against God? Yeah. But she kept pressing him day after day after day after day after day.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah. Anyway, but he didn't listen to her. He refused to sleep with her or even be with her. Yeah, he just left the room. Anyway, so one day, when he went in the house to do his work, none of the other men living in the house were there. And so she grabbed him by his robe and said, sleep with me. But he fled. He ran out of the house, leaving his robe in her hand. And he got out of the house really quick.
Good.
But then Potiphar's wife saw that she still had his robe in her hand, and he had escaped. So she called the men of the house and told them, look at this. My husband brought in a Hebrew to make fools of us. He came in and wanted to sleep with me, but I yelled out loudly. When he heard me yelling like that, he left his robe with me and ran out. Yeah, she lied about Joseph. She put the robe aside until Potiphar came home. And then she said to him, this Hebrew slave you brought us came in to make a fool of me. But when I yelled out, he left his robe with me and fled outside. Well, when Potiphar heard about this, well, he was pretty angry. Yeah, he was furious. So Joseph's master Potiphar took him and threw him in prison, in the place where the king's prisoners were kept. And there he was stuck in prison, under the law.
The law.
But Yahweh was with Joseph, showing him grace and giving him favor in the sight of the prison warden. So then the prison warden made Joseph the supervisor of the prison and all the prisoners in it.
Go figure.
So whatever they did there, he was in charge of it. The prison warden paid no attention to anything Joseph did, kind of like Potiphar, because Yahweh was with him, and whatever he did, Yahweh prospered.
Whoa, that's right from the Torah? That all wasn't exactly G-rated, you know.
Not all the Bible is, Gus.
Well, my pastor at my church says that we should make the Bible more child-friendly.
Why? Yahweh didn't. Children and adults need to hear God's word as it is. They need biblical reality, not the cartoon version. And what do you mean you're a pastor at your church? I thought you were coming to synagogue now. You mean you're still going to Sunday services as well?
Oh, no, I don't attend there anymore, but I did stay on there as the maintenance man.
Wait, you work at your old church? That's got to be interesting.
It has its moments. Gives me a chance to have interesting conversations with everybody there about Torah. There's one thing the pastor likes about it, though.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I'm available to clean the church on Sundays.
Well, good. So he's not really your pastor, and it's not really your church.
True. Getting used to that still. So, Joseph did the right thing no matter what. And even though an injustice happened to him, he stayed right with God and kept his good reputation.
Yep. So what you gonna do about work, Gus?
I'm gonna keep doing the right thing no matter what, and keep my reputation and God's clean.
Spoken like one excellent custodial engineer.
Not a bad job, really. One thing about it, though.
What's that?
I really need to do a good job keeping the mirrors clean.
Why's that?
Because I don't want them to reflect poorly on me.
Oh. Oh, Gus. See you later.
See ya, Robbie.
Hey ha, Asa, I have done what is just and right. Psalm 119, 121a.
Zadik, you are righteous, Yahweh, and your rulings are upright. Psalm 119, verse 137.
You know, baby boohoo, I've been thinking.
Yeah, Eugene?
Bum 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 bada bum bum. Bum 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 bada bum bum. Right, baby. Right, baby.
All right, stop. Oh, man, gotta show you what he does require of you. You gotta act justly and show mercy. With all that, walk humbly.
Do you ever stop?
No, I don't think so. Do the right thing wherever you go. To the extreme, you gotta love Yahweh.
And love your neighbor, following God's ways.
Bum, 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 bada, bum, bum.
Right, baby.
Word.
Torah represent.
Whoa, totally righteous. Hello, boys and girls. Well, that pretty much wraps up the show today. Get it? Totally wraps up the show. Baby and Eugene rapping? All right, I will get on with it. So, what is Torah teaching us that we should speak about when we sit at home, when we walk along the road, when we lie down for bed, and when we get up again? Basically, to do what is just and right. Why? Because Yahweh is just and right. Because our Messiah is just and right. And we can be just and right on our own? No. We need the righteousness of Yahweh given to us through Messiah Yeshua. We need to fully rely on God and walk humbly with Him. Oh, boys and girls, so much to still learn from the Torah, so much to learn about Torah. Until next time, this is your roving rabbit reporter with a really bad French accent. Here we go, saying, here I go. Bye for now.